ladies and gentlemen, with the end of 2024 upon us, I thought it would be a fun idea to react to the top 10 most mortifying media moments of 2024. This is something I found on X, and so I'll just be reacting to this. It's about a 10-minute video, and I guess it goes over how ridiculous the media was in 2024 with it being an election year, trying to cover up for Biden, and some other moments. I've seen like the first few of these, but I didn't watch the full video, so we're gonna go through this, and I'll give some comments on it.
24. Number 10. Ignore your eyes. Those are cheap fakes.
There's a growing and insidious trend in right-wing media, broadcast, print, and social media. It is to take highly misleading and selectively edited videos of President Biden directly from Republican National Committee social media accounts, and then use those videos to spread messages virally to cast doubt on President Biden's fitness for office. Here is this headline from the New York Post, quote, Biden appears to freeze up, has to be led off stage by Obama.
So I did see that. I did see this one. The funniest thing about this, that's legit exactly what happened. Biden froze up and Obama had to lead him off stage like he had a collar on him. He's a dog. Like he led him off stage. He's like holding him. He's like, go this way. Go. That's exactly what happened. And then they show it.
At Megabucks LA fundraiser. The full video, posted by Biden finance chair on Twitter, shows something entirely different. Biden reacting to applause and then walking off stage with former President Obama. It comes less than 1 week after the New York Post made a cover out of another piece of deceptively edited tape, calling him meanderer-in-chief due to what they claim was Biden walking away during a skydiving demonstration during the G7 summit last week. Biden was going over to...
I believe that some of that they're referencing, that they're saying, oh, these are cheap fakes. That's the same summit where Biden slept through a dinner, by the way. That's the context to that.
Congratulate one of the skydivers. The articles are based on cheap fakes, videos of real events that are intentionally manipulated to fool viewers.
Number 9. CNN thinks America is a democracy.
There's a lot of criticisms of Trump that he is bad for democracy, that he's bad for American democracy.
Okay,
we are a republic.
We're a republic.
We are not a democracy.
Representative republic. We're not a democracy.
I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories. I hear a lot of things out on the road. But to hear Americans, people who would describe themselves as patriots, say that America is not a democracy, that stopped me in my tracks.
You are hearing people say America is not a democracy because there are people around Trump who want them to be saying that, who've been planting that narrative.
Number 8. Beyonce is performing at the DNC.
There are rumors that Beyonce might make an appearance. I personally think that that's true.
So they were desperate for people to listen to Kamala. So they blatantly lied on the final night when Kamala was speaking that Beyonce was going to be there, or Taylor Swift or someone. And it was just a total fabrication by people within the DNC. They told the media ran with it. And by the way, I'm guessing they said, listen, this is very, very likely happening, because a lot of the media was really giddy about it. And they were saying, well, we can't confirm it, but it's probably happening. And I'm sure that was a strategy, because like, we got to get these people to listen to Kamala and get good views on this. So, I mean, it was a complete, lie. And it was very likely done to where they were told the media, oh, it's very likely going to happen, but you just can't confirm it. So then the media's like, oh, we'll see, but it's probably going to happen.
Is the United Center going to be turning into the Beehive tonight?
The Beehive is buzzing right now because the preparation for the Beehive, it has to start early.
A donor confirmed to me that she's also hearing that Beyonce is en route.
Beyonce is going to show up. Queen Bey.
Breaking Beyonce news.
Number 7. The media tries to scare people about Project 2025.
The far-right manifesto puts forth sealing the border, and it seeks to do so with military force.
Remember the massive book they had at the DNC? It was like day 2 of the DNC. They had like this huge book. And there was like I forgot. I remember watching it. I was live streaming it. And there was like some mix-up or something, and they couldn't get... Oh, yeah, they brought people on. It was like some dude would bring people on via a webcam, and one of the person like didn't hear, and so it was just stuck on them for like a minute. But yeah, remember, I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I've heard a liberal talk about Project 2025, maybe right after the election when conservatives started trolling and saying, now we can admit it's real. I mean, there are definitely elements of Project 2025 that Trump likes. It is a Republican conservative thing done by a foundation that always puts it out every 4 years. But we've talked about that.
Aims to use every lever of government to find, detain, and deport undocumented people, take funding and housing away from people who are just associated with undocumented immigrants. Quote, deny loan assistance to those who are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents.
Number 6. Media tries to hype up the amount of misinformation on X.
After Elon Musk took over in 2022, most of its fact checkers were fired. Now the site is rife with...
It is hilarious that they reference fact checkers because we know how disingenuous that really is, and the gaslighting behind the word fact checkers, how many of them are liberal fact checkers. It's also funny how they reference fact checkers in this, and then you've got the community notes thing, which is a good function, community notes. And by the way, I have seen community notes even criticize Musk and Musk's stances, so you know, you could say, well, it's biased, things like that, but they do have the community notes now, and people say that's implemented very well. It's just funny how they bring up the idea of fact checkers when Musk introduced a brand new thing. And I'm not this huge Musk fan, but Musk introduces this brand new thing with the community notes that will put context and proper light onto things that people are saying that are trying to manipulate you. I mean, it's a really good idea.
Trash talk and lies. Little would you know that this, said to be footage from Gaza, is really from a video game. Eventually, X users added a warning label. And
that was something that was not done. The only time that there was a community notes before Musk was when they would do the thing with Trump. Remember, they would like add stuff under Trump's tweets, but that was like a manual overwrite thing. That wasn't even a community notes. That was because they hated Trump, and he's claiming victory in 2020, and stuff like that.
Are AI generated images of, well, see.
It looked like that had did that have 2 likes?
Game. Eventually, X users added a warning label.
They're referencing something that has 2 likes that's AI generated, that it looks like it has 0 replies.
These are AI generated images of, well, see for yourself. Did your research find that there was more misinformation spread by conservatives?
Absolutely. X has turned into a haven for the spread of misinformation. Since buying the site almost 2 years ago, Musk's site has struggled to control it on topics ranging from the election to the assassination attempt against Trump.
Number 5. Tim Walz is the best. J.D. Vance is the worst.
Midwestern dad, like super clean cut vibe.
Everybody likes
right?
Tim Walz.
So plain spoken and relatable. Pretty moderate Democrat.
Very moderate record.
The new moderate. It's right down the middle.
Yeah, well, this was just the typical Democrat thing with a vice presidential candidate. Walz and Vance, in reality, I mean, Vance was significantly better, and the American people, you get the initial approval ratings of both Vance and Walz. Vance, I think, started like -10 or -11 because the media immediately attacked him. I think Walz was like +10. And then at the end of it, Vance wasn't ahead of Walz. I mean, Vance clearly ran a better, as a VP campaign than Walz did. And this is just typical fodder from the media. They're going to come out and say Walz is the best because he's a liberal, and most of these people are liberal.
He's not just an old white man.
Tim Walz beats America,
Talks like a regular person.
Tim Walz is the opposite of weird. Populist approach to
The
fear
opposite of weird.
On the Republican side, and the happy populism that Tim Walz is on the ticket on the Democratic side.
Happy warriors.
Happy warriors.
He was certainly the happy warrior last
A
night.
happy warrior, a folksy backstory.
Wicked sense of humor. Look how happy the pig looks. This is good.
Look how happy the pig looks.
And J.D. Vance is weird, extreme.
He's weird. Oh my God.
Humorlessness.
It's hard to believe that J.D. Vance could be any more extreme.
It's like a freak show of bros.
Dark and ugly beneath the dignity of most politicians.
J.V. Vance.
J.D. is at the far extreme.
JV.
The most extreme, being one of the most extreme.
Angry and mean and dark.
This guy is really weird, y'all.
Number 4.
Oh my God.
Very, very bad
It's like
things
they
will
learned the
happen
word
if
weird.
Trump wins.
Think about what happens if all of our access to healthcare goes away next Tuesday. The stakes literally are life and death for every woman in America. It's not hyperbole.
Life
it's not
and
an
death for every
exaggeration.
Trump will fulfill
woman?
his promise to be a dictator on day one.
Sets up a network of camps.
Extraordinarily erratic foreign
That's how
policy
you
in the
deport
Middle
people.
East.
Doing profound and possibly permanent damage to American democracy.
If historians in the future are allowed to write books
And by the way, that question is open this morning. And if people are allowed to go on television and say what they think in the future, which again, that question is open this morning.
Pardon his son because he is such a great guy.
Presidential promise to put the law before family.
The president has ruled out pardoning his son.
Pledging not to pardon his son.
To sit there and say, well, I'm not going to intervene in the legal process, and I wouldn't pardon my son. Democrats and Joe Biden protecting the justice system.
And so this is what I had said, and this was my point when he actually did pardon Hunter. It was they wanted the political leverage of look at how nice and fair Biden is as the president who has executive power to not save his son, when in reality he was always going to save his son. It was just a matter of if he won or lost, and he lost, so he had to do it right after, or I guess he didn't lose, Kamala lost, but their party lost, and so he had to do it right after Trump won.
Our current president of the United States has so much respect for the law that he has said he would not pardon his son.
And Joe Biden has very clearly said he would not pardon his son. He would not commute his sentence. How can Republicans keep making this argument now that Joe Biden has really put it out there?
He is not doing it because he is living what it means to have a rule of law in this country. Yeah. And it isn't, I mean, if you want to know if he
trusts the law. Not only did he pardon Hunter, for the past few years, 11 total years going back to 2014, 11 over a decade, he pardoned Hunter. You're clean. He definitely loves the law. That's someone that's not trying to get out of anything now.
Believes it. You could actually see what is happening with his own son.
Even President Biden saying in a statement that he would respect the outcome of this case.
This was a good day for the system, good day for sort of America as an example of how the rule of law should work.
We're coming on the air this hour.
Hunter had said Hunter Biden found guilty on 3 gun charges. Meanwhile, the case gets delayed, and then he pardons him before anything can even happen.
Breaking news. President Biden has just pardoned his son, Hunter.
Number 2, media gets caught editing interviews to help Kamala Harris.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are 1 or 2 specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are 1 or 2 specific things you have in mind for that?
So when I talk about building it,
and you can tell it's edited too, by the way, her case.
It seems
60
that
minutes one.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Number 1, there's no cognitive decline. In fact, Biden has never been better.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
He is sharp, intensely probing.
That's scary.
And detail-oriented and focused.
President Biden has a photographic memory.
But he's totally focused. He's very sharp.
They say he's sharp in meetings and so on. Very lucid, very well informed.
He's older. That doesn't mean that he
is unfit.
He can clear a dementia bar, and that's probably a win.
More wild speculation from a bunch of people who have probably never been in a room with Joe Biden and certainly don't have medical degrees that I'm aware of.
But a huge part of the Mueller report talks about Russian disinformation tactics. And one of the themes this election cycle is that Joe Biden is too old to lead. And so everyone is seizing upon this. And it is a...
All right, well, that is the top 10 media moments there. Yeah, I mean, the stuff about Biden and his health, and obviously very, very bad. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.